Meanwhile, concern is deepening in Washington over Russia sending heavy weapons into Syria. There are fears the Russians might encounter U.S. warplanes operating against the ISIS terror army. Chip Reid has more on that from the Pentagon.
In addition to the fighter jets, these satellite photos of the base taken in the last few days also show Russian helicopters, transport aircraft, tanks, and armored personnel carriers. Some U.S. intelligence analysts believe the weapons could be used to attack rebel forces, threatening the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, Russia's longtime ally but an enemy of the U.S. One U.S. official recently said Russian military intervention in Syria would be a game changer, creating the potential for run-ins with U.S. warplanes that are conducting airstrikes against ISIS in Syria. In an effort to avoid potential conflict between the U.S. and Russia, Secretary of Defense Ash Carter spoke by phone with Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu. In a statement, the Pentagon called it a constructive conversation. In London, Secretary of State John Kerry addressed the escalating U.S.-Russian tensions.
I think everybody is seized by the urgency. We have been all along, but the migration levels, the continued destruction, the danger of potential augmentation by any unilateral moves really puts a high premium on diplomacy at this moment.
Earlier this month, Russian President Vladimir Putin said intervention in Syria is, quote, not yet on our agenda. Some U.S. officials fear that given the latest developments, his plans might have changed. For CBS This Morning Saturday, Chip Reid, the Pentagon.
Time to show you some of this morning's headlines. The Boston Globe reports 2 people have been arrested in connection with the death of a 2-year-old girl. Her body was found washed up in a bag on a Boston beach this summer. The Suffolk County District Attorney identified the child as Bella Bond. Bond's mother and her boyfriend were charged with the murder. The DA declined to comment on a motive for the killing.
It was such a heartbreaking case, remember, because they showed it and that image was everywhere on social media. And they say that actually was the biggest gift because it was like 50 million people. They could never hit that many doors, were able to help and call in clues.
Yep.
So sad.